Hey guys, so this is the last full week of NTI. Next week I am going to have something for you just to check in. It's not going to be like in a regular assignment where you're going to have to actually do math, but we do still need to take attendance next week. So I'm going to have something that I'm going to put up as an assignment just for you to check off that you're there and present. So make sure you get that done next week. This week, we are just looking at simplifying radicals. This is just something that I wanted you to have seen before because you're going to do this a lot in geometry and even again in algebra 2. So this is something that keeps popping up. So when you have a radical, it's this symbol. It's basically asking you what number multiplied by itself gives you the number on the inside. So it's basically the opposite of an exponent. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the numbers on the inside and we're going to break them down into prime numbers. So we're going to break them down into 2s, 3s, 5s, and 7s. So we're going to start with 2 and divide by 2 as many times as you can. So I'm going to write down that I'm dividing by 2. And then I'm going to actually divide by 2. And I get 147. So write down what you divide by and what you get. Then you're going to keep breaking it down until you get all 2s, 3s, 5s, and 7s. So I can't divide by 2 anymore, but I could divide by 3. So if I divide by 3, I get 49. And then I can't divide by 3 anymore. I can't divide by 5, but I can divide by 7. So once you divide a number, it's essentially gone. Basically now I have 2, 3, 7, and 7, which if you multiplied those together, you would get 294. We just kind of broke it apart. So what I'm looking for are pairs of the same number. So I have 2 7s down here, so I'm going to circle them. So anytime you have 2 of the same number, it's going to move outside of the radical. And then any numbers that are left over are going to go back on the inside. So 2 times 3. So then if I have any like 2 numbers either on the inside or the outside, I just multiply them together. Oops. And there you go. That's your final answer. So I'll do another one. And just remember, it's always 2s, 3s, 5s, and 7s. So this one I divide by 2, and I get 36. So I'm going to divide by 2 again, and I get 18. Divide by 2, and I get 9. Can't divide by 2 anymore, but I can divide by 3, and I get 3. So these numbers are all gone, and those are the numbers I have left. So even though I have 3 2s, I only want to circle 2 of them because this is a square root. So we're only looking at pairs of numbers. So because I have a pair of 2s, I write that on the outside, and I have a pair of 3s, so I write that on the outside. And I have 1 2 left over, so he goes on the inside. So I'm going to multiply the numbers on the outside together. My 2 just stays the same. Okay. All right. So the only difference here is that I have a variable. We do the number the same way. So I'm going to divide by 2, and I get 6. Divide by 2, and I get 3. And then here, basically I'm breaking apart that variable because v to the third power means that I have v times v times v. And we do the same thing, but we're still circling pairs. So I have a pair of 2s, but I also have a pair of v's. So in the outside, I'm going to write my 2 for the pair of 2s and my v for the pair of v's. Remember, these are gone. And on the inside, I have a 3 left over and a v left over. So with variables, it's essentially the same thing. I don't have anything to multiply together, so that's just my final answer. So one more like that. So with 392, I'm going to divide by 2. Oops. And I get 196. So I'm going to divide by 2 again. And I get 98. Divide by 2 again. And I get 49. I can't divide by 2 or 3 or 5. So here I'm going to divide by 7. And get 7. And then I have 4 x's. So I'm going to write those out here. and 4 y's. So these are gone, these are gone, these are gone. That's gone. Now I circle my pairs. So I have 2 2s, 2 7s, 2 x's, 2 more x's, 2 y's, 2 more y's. So everything that I circled, I'm going to put on the outside so one for each pair. So on the outside I have 2, I have 7, I have 2 x's, 2 y's, and then all I have left over is that little 2. So that means that once I put all this together, 2 times 7 is 14. 2 x's would be x squared. 2 y's would be y to the 4th. And then square root of 2. So, ta-da! There you go.